first, this takes aging better by the day. So, I said after game one between the Lakers and the Nuggets that LeBron James, who has often treated game ones the way that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady used to treat September. Feel out process. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but really sort of kind of an extension of the preseason, or in LeBron's case, again, somewhat of an extension of the regular season where feel the game out, probably the highest basketball IQ of all time, see what an opponent's got. But game one on Saturday was different. I felt like LeBron went attack mode. LeBron's going to pick his spots. He has 39 years of age at this point in his career, right? He's going to go attack mode, do what he's got to do, drop 19 the first half. 80's going to give you 17 the first half. You're going to be only up by 3 against a Denver Nuggets team where Jamal Murray's struggling. And at that point, I felt like LeBron's like, you know what? I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to feel out the second half, see what matchups we can exploit in game 2. If we win, great. If we don't, put all of our chips into the win game 2 on the road table. Because obviously the Lakers literally can't win the series unless they win a road game in Denver because they don't have home court advantage. And I actually thought the Lakers were going to win for that reason. I felt like LeBron was going to be good in stretches. AD would be productive. Denver would sort of let their foot off the gas pedal to a degree, right? You've beaten a team 9 straight times. Like, it's tough to do it 10 straight, especially when the other team's really getting tired of that narrative. Lakers need to steal this game. They need it to a degree, a lot more than Denver does, because Denver's obviously a better basketball team. And over the course of 48 minutes, just look down this list. I got some here in my notes, okay? LeBron drops 26, 12, and 8 with 2 steals and 2 blocks, including dropping 14 in the fourth quarter. Everybody's crushing LeBron for that missed 3. They're not even in the game if he doesn't drop 14 in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis dropped 32 and 11. That'll work. D'Lo came out of nowhere. Man dropped 7 3-pointers. Well above his playoff average. I talked about that on Monday. You're not going to get much from D'Lo in this series because you don't get much from D'Lo in general in the playoffs as a Laker. He was great. Dropped 21 points, 7 threes. Lakers went up 20 in the third quarter. Jamal Murray, and we'll get to Jamal in just a second, was awful through 3 quarters. 3 for 16. All of these things go in the Lakers' favor. They enter the fourth quarter up 10. And over the course of events, we'll talk about in just a second, it culminated with this.
Tie ball game, worst can happen, we go to overtime. Murray makes a move. There's the Nuggets have won!
Yeah, that happened. Obviously, a great call by the great Kevin Harlan, who's one of my 5 favorite announcers in the world. So, Jamal Murray hits a buzzer beater. Nuggets go home happy, go up 2-0 on the Lakers. So, listen, I said last Monday, that the Lakers, given the path they had ahead of them in the playing game against New Orleans, if they lost, they'd have to face either Sacramento or Golden State, both of which who own them. I still believe either team would have beaten the Lakers, even though both missed the playoffs. If they beat the Pelicans, which they did, their reward, they get to face a team that literally owns them, the Denver Nuggets, who coming in had won 8 straight times, and now they won 10 straight. And again, the Lakers could not have possibly. Listen, we can talk about the fact that Anthony Davis went scoreless in the second half. We can talk about the fact that Darvin Ham, for reasons I'm not quite sure, decided to go away from the LeBron James, Anthony Davis 2-man game, which, again, is beyond me because the Nuggets couldn't stop it all night. More on sort of what Denver did to adjust to that in just a second. While Denver does what they always do. It's amazing. I was talking about this with my buddy Grady, who's a big Lakers fan. Shout out to Grady. We were talking about this. It's every single game looks alike. The only thing we haven't seen the last 10 games between the Lakers and the Nuggets is A, the Lakers win, and B, a blowout. Maybe the first game of the 10-game winning streak might have been a blowout. I don't know. But the last 9, I know for a fact, not blowouts. So you look at all those factors. You look at the fact that, again, LeBron, AD didn't go to the high pick and roll. Again, I put most of that on Darvin Ham. You look at the fact that Michael Malone made one of the adjustments of the game and probably of the series, putting Aaron Gordon on Anthony Davis so that Jokic wouldn't get in foul trouble guarding AD. And more importantly, Jokic struggles at times. Jokic is an all-time great player, best player in basketball. But struggles at times, as most bigs do, guarding the perimeter. So Michael Malone says, no, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to put Aaron Gordon, who's big, strong, can hold his own against Anthony Davis. And if they set the screen, Oh, he can. LeBron's going to get his, but he can take LeBron James one-on-one more than Jokic can. So props to Michael Malone for making that adjustment because he's an excellent head coach, and I've said so for years. I think he's one of the best in the NBA. But Lakers fans talking about officiating, which we'll get into, and they're talking about, well, Rui Hachimura had 3 points. Okay, if your 5th best player scoring 3 points while your best player drops 14 in the fourth quarter, that would be LeBron James. Your 2nd best player by an inch was amazing. I get bad in the fourth quarter, I get it, but was awesome through 3. 80 took you 3 quarters. LeBron took it in the 4th. Could not have been better between those two. You look at the fact that you got a guy in D'Angelo Russell who I'm willing to say right now will not play that well the rest of the series. I did a side-by-side D'Lo in game 1 versus D'Lo as a Laker. They're the same. D'Lo is a Laker in the playoffs. Same numbers. He's not good. He was great on Monday night. It didn't matter. Austin Reeves hit a shot late. Didn't matter because Denver's better. Denver's a better basketball team. Denver's got the best player in the series, the more reliable second star in the playoffs. Love AD. Jamal's more reliable, better playoff performer. They got the better coach. They got the better roster, better starting 5. They're better in the clutch. Better. Why in God's name are we shocked that it's 2-0? I said Nuggets in 5 simply out of respect for LeBron because I don't want to see LeBron get swept back-to-back years. I may hate the Lakers as a Warriors fan. Love LeBron James. Love off the court, on the court, everything. But this feels like it's going to be a sweep because I thought coming in Denver was going to win the 2 games in LA and that the Lakers, the 1 game they would get would be game 2. It feels like a sweep now. But for Jamal Murray, and you give him a ton of credit on this, and this is, we talk about playoff Jimmy. We talk about this guy stepping up, that guy stepping up. Jamal Murray steps up in the playoffs. And Jamal Murray, this is part of what makes this such a gut punch for the Lakers is that through the first 7 quarters, Jamal Murray was abysmal. We could show you his numbers. First 7 quarters of the series and the fourth quarter Monday night in game 2. First 7 quarters, Jamal Murray had 28 points in 7 quarters on 12 for 40 shooting. Not great. Last quarter, 14 points, 6 for 8 from the field, and obviously the game winner, which put the Nuggets up 2-0 in the series. So Jamal Murray steps up. Jamal averaged like 32 a game last year in the Western Conference Finals. He steps up. How about Nikola Jokic? Okay. There were stretches of that game, certainly in the first half, where I'm like, I don't think Jokic is playing that well. You look at his stat line at the end, you're like, oh, let's see what 27, 20, and 10. Because he's the best player in the world with respect to Giannis and LeBron, AD, Steph, Embiid. We'll talk about Embiid later. He dang sure in the best player in the world. Whoever you want to throw out, Jokic's better than all of them. He's better than all of them right now. The idea, and I said this coming into the series, and obviously it reigns true today, and this is not a surprise. I'm not necessarily patting myself on the back because I thought it was pretty darn predictable. The idea that the Lakers had any shot to win 4 times in 7 tries against the best team in basketball. I think Boston is the best roster in basketball, and I think the Celtics are going to go to the finals. The Nuggets have the best team in basketball. They're great late. They're great in clutch. Get stops defensively down the stretch of games. This is what they do. And the final take on this game is one of my biggest pet peeves in all of sports and has been since the day I started the show, October 21st, 2019. It's always been one of my biggest pet peeves. Is when after a close game, comes down to the wire, crazy, there's a game-winning play or whatever, fans, media, and in this case, players, whine, cry, and moan about the officiating. And I love LeBron James. We can debate this another day. I think he's the greatest basketball player who ever lived. But this was LeBron after the game against Denver. Take a listen.
I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the do we have a replay center if it's going to go? It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that is like. And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers Knicks game too. What are we doing?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. And again, love LeBron, but I hated that quote. And we dealing with connection issues. See if we can get back on. For one, were there bad calls in this game? Was there a really, I thought, a really bad miss when the referees went to replay the D'Angelo Russell play when he was hit in the face? Like that should not have been overturned. That was absolutely a foul. Was there a play late where LeBron James went for a layup, got hammered on the head? They didn't call it? Yes. And I'll talk about officiating a little bit later with Sixers and Knicks. The idea that that's what cost the Lakers. I mean, D'Angelo Russell tweeted after the game. Did we have the tweet? We don't have the tweet on the screen here for you, but I retweeted it and responded to it. D'Angelo Russell after the game against the Lakers. That's a foul. We all saw it on national television. Okay. Is this what you're clamoring to? That what never ceases to amaze me about this is when, again, in this case, players, but fans, media, like, I haven't seen the media do it as much as players and fans have in this instance, where they just neglect the other thousands of plays or possibilities or scenarios that happen throughout the duration of the basketball game and focus on just those few, as if that happens, that dictates the outcome of the basketball game. I said this, my prime example is when there was the awful missed pass interference call, and it was awful, between the Saints and the Rams 2018 NFC Championship game. And it's like, oh, the Saints fans boycotted the Super Bowl and they robbed our team. Was it a missed call? Yes. Did you put yourself in that position for that call to dictate your loss? 1,000%. And that was the Lakers. So we're just going to neglect the fact that Anthony Davis did go scoreless the fourth quarter. We're going to neglect the fact that the Nuggets down 20 midway with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, enter the fourth quarter down 10. We're just going to neglect those stretches of play. We're going to neglect the fact that Darvin Ham, after Mike Malone made his chess move of putting Aaron Gordon on Anthony Davis, didn't adjust because that's not what he does because he's from the Mike Budenholzer tree. I mean, what are we doing here? Again, love LeBron. I love watching this guy in the postseason. But that's weak. D'Angelo Russell, man, that's weak. What are we talking about? Denver's better than you. they are. And the Lakers outplayed Denver through stretches of that game. They couldn't outplay them when it mattered most. Gave them their best punch, which is what makes it all the more demoralizing. It's not like Denver just stole it from you. You held up your own. You held up a pretty good fight yourself. But Denver's the better basketball team. They were the better basketball team coming in. They were better last year. Neither team made drastic changes to their roster, and you're seeing it happen again. So is the replay system flawed? Yeah, it's flawed. Is LeBron, I heard Nick Wright, who knows LeBron James personally, talk about, he said he had a conversation. LeBron is still fuming about that game one in 2018 against the Warriors where there was a bad block to charge call. I remember that game. I'm a Warriors fan. I remember that play vividly. Was it a bad call? Yeah, but they were beating the Warriors. And then the Lakers were never going to beat the Denver Nuggets, ever. Listen, LeBron James, Etta James, Jesse James, it don't matter. Nuggets in 5. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.